Okay, so we can see that there are two members, 4 feet. They are connected at their centers, center B. There is a spring attached, and there are two vertical loads whose magnitude is equal to 30 pounds each. Now, to give the virtual displacement, we can't give the displacement to the hinge A. Therefore, we can give the virtual displacement to the roller. But it's not possible in the vertical direction. Therefore, it can move only in the horizontal or the right side or left side. Let's give this horizontal displacement. Okay, giving the horizontal displacement, we can also see that this point E will move downwards. It can neither move towards right or neither towards left. Okay, we can see that if this situation can be compared with a ladder. One end is resting on the wall and another is resting on the ground. So if we give the displacement to this ladder here in this direction, after some time, you can see that this will be the position of the points. Okay, you can see that this end is only moving downwards. It's not going either right or left. Okay, but what will happen to the point C? Now they are connected at their centers. Okay, they are connected at their centers. What is the sense of rotation of ED? If this D is moving towards right, what will be the sense of rotation of the ED? Will it go in the anti-clockwise or clockwise? It should go in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, as clear from this figure. If this is going in the anti-clockwise direction, therefore, this contact point with the ground will move towards right and the wall contact will move downwards. Okay, so when ED is going in the anti-clockwise direction, what can you say about AC? They are connected at their centers by a pin joint. Okay, then AC has to go in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so that this spring always remains in the horizontal position. Okay, so you can just equate this example to the scissors. Okay, if one end of the scissor moves in the clockwise direction, other end goes in the anti-clockwise direction. So you can equate this mechanism to the mechanism of the scissors. Okay, therefore A point will not go where A point won't go. There won't be any displacement of the point A, but this C point, as there is a rotation, this C point can come to this position, and E point will be where? E point will be here after some time, and there will be a spring which will be connected between them. So if we see the virtual displacements, we can give the virtual displacement to D. E will also undergo virtual displacement in the downward direction, and C will undergo virtual displacement since C is undergoing rotation. Okay, point C is tracing the circle, therefore it will undergo the displacements both in the X direction as well as in the Y direction. But we will be interested only in which? In the Y direction, because the load is acting in the Y direction. So after some time we can see that this system can look like this. Is it? A roller is given here, a displacement. Let's say that this displacement is equal to delta xt. There is a spring connected. This displacement will be delta ye, and C will reach here. This is the final C. This is the final position of point E, and the displacement, you can see there is X displacement as well, but we are not interested in that. We are interested in the displacement in the Y direction, that is delta yc. Okay, now if I draw the complete free body diagram of it, we can see that the virtual displacements, okay, the virtual displacements will be the virtual work will be done by what displacements? We can see that the virtual work will be done first of all by this force, and the virtual work will also be done by which force? By spring force, because it will undergo extension. Obviously this length of the spring here, okay, is less than this length. This length is more, isn't it? So what should be the direction of the restoring force? If the spring was extending in both the directions, then spring force would have been shown, one in this direction and one in this direction. But here the spring is undergoing the extension only in the right direction, because E point isn't moving. E point still remains in this vertical direction. Okay, E point moves vertically downwards. Only C point moves in this direction, in the right direction. Okay, therefore the restoring force will be shown in this direction. The restoring force will be shown in this direction. Okay, and the restoring force will, therefore, for this restoring force, we also need which displacement? The x coordinate of, that is delta x of C, isn't it? Because here a restoring force is acting in this direction, opposite to that of the displacement. So here we can, if we draw the complete free body diagram, we can see that we will have a reaction at A, horizontal at the vertical reactions, but they won't do the virtual work. There will also be a roller reaction at this end. Will it do work? No, it won't do the work because it is perpendicular to the displacement. So the virtual work will be only due to these three forces. One will be P1, another will be due to P2, and third will be due to this spring force. Therefore, we need the coordinates of 3 points, that is E, C. For E, we need only the y coordinate because the force is only in the vertically downward direction. But for the point C, we need two coordinates. One displacement is in the vertical direction due to this load in the vertical direction. Another displacement is in the horizontal direction, and that is due to the spring force. Okay, so we can write the coordinates. The coordinate of E will be, we are interested only in the y coordinate of E. So what can you say about the y coordinate of E? If you see, this distance will be equal to how much? 2 sine theta, isn't it? If we consider this right angle triangle, this distance will be equal to 2 sine theta plus this distance will also be 2 sine theta. Therefore, the y coordinate, okay, obviously we are choosing this fixed point A to be the origin of our this coordinate system. Therefore, the y coordinate of E will be equal to 2 sine theta or 4 sine theta, isn't it? Okay, this will be 2 sine theta, this will be 2 sine theta. Therefore, this coordinate will be equal to 4 sine theta. We can write that YE is equal to and this will also be the y coordinate of point C, isn't it? Because both the points E and C are at the same distance from the reference x-axis. Therefore, y coordinate of C will also be the same as that of E. That is equal to how much? 4 sine theta. We are also interested in the x coordinate of C because there is a spring force which is causing the displacement in the x direction. Therefore, the x coordinate should be what? This will be x cos theta, sorry, 2 cos theta plus this will also be 2 cos theta. Therefore, the x coordinate will be 4 cos theta. Now, calculating the differential displacements, we can see that this delta YE will be, it will be 4 cos theta delta theta. This will be and here this delta x, this was C, this is C, it will be minus 4 sine theta delta theta. So now if we apply the principle of virtual work, this will be equal to 0. We can see that the work done, okay, the work done by these forces will be positive. Okay, the work done by the P1 and the P2 load will be positive because displacement is also in the vertical direction, downward direction, and the forces are also in the downward direction. Therefore, we can say that P1, okay, P1 is acting at E, therefore the corresponding virtual displacement will be delta YE plus P2 and the corresponding virtual displacement will be delta YC. Now, what about the spring force? you can see that the displacement of the spring is in the positive x direction, isn't it? Okay, it is extending in the positive x direction. This is the displacement, okay, of the spring in the positive x direction, while as the restoring force will be acting in the negative direction. Therefore, this work done will be negative. Okay, it obviously will be negative because two works are positive. The net virtual work will only be zero when one term definitely has to be a negative term here. So this spring force, this is the spring force, and the virtual displacement is equal to delta xc. Therefore, this has to be 0. Now we have to calculate the spring force as well, isn't it? So spring force, this will be equal to K into X, where K is what? K is what? The spring constant, and X is what? X is the displacement in which direction? X is the extension of the spring, isn't it? X is the extension of the spring. So let's see what is the extension of the spring. What is the extension of the spring? Okay. We see here the spring is unstretched when theta is equal to 45. Okay. We see that spring is unstretched when theta is equal to 45. Therefore, there will be, or this length will be the final length of the spring, isn't it? This will be the final length of the spring, and the initial length of the spring will be calculated when we put theta is equal to 45. Now, what is this length of the spring here? What is this? I can take this to be the length of the spring. That is, this is the length of the spring. It is how much? It will be equal to how much? To 4 cos theta. Okay, this length will be equal to 4 cos theta. So currently the length of the spring is, this L is equal to 4 cos theta. What is the unstretched length of the spring? The spring is unstretched when theta is equal to 45. Okay, theta is equal to 45. Then we have to put here theta is equal to 45. Therefore, unstretched length will be denoted by L naught. That will be equal to 4 cos 45. Okay. So don't consider this as the stretch of the spring. This is not the stretch of the spring. It is the what we call as the displacement, the virtual displacement caused. Okay, the spring might be in the stretched position already. Okay, this is the spring force. Okay, this is the spring force. So K will be equal to, this displacement now will be equal to L minus L naught. This is 4 cos theta minus 4 cos 45. And K is equal to how much? It is equal to 200. Therefore, the spring force will be equal to, it is 200. It will be 800 cos theta minus so this will be our spring force. Now substituting all these values in the virtual work equation, P1 was how much? It was 2 kilonewton or 2 pound. This was 30 pound. And the displacement was, that is delta YE, it was equal to 4 cos theta delta theta. Plus 30 multiplied by 4 sin theta delta theta, is it? Or okay, again 4 cos theta delta theta minus the spring force is 800 cos theta minus 800 cos 45. This is the spring force, and what is the virtual displacement caused by the spring force, that is delta xc, which will be equal to 4 sine theta delta theta. Their summation has to be 0. We can write this to be 120. 30 into 4 is 120, and it will get twice. Minus 3200 cos theta sin theta. Minus 800 cos 45, that is 800 by root 2 multiplied by plus, okay. One will be minus and another will be plus. So this has to be 0. So what is this value? If we divide them by cos theta, what will we get dividing by cos theta? It will be 240, and taking this delta theta common, minus 3200. Cos theta will cancel with this cos theta in denominator, and we will have sin theta. Finally, what will we have here? Something tan theta, isn't it? Because sin theta by cos theta will be tan theta. What's the coefficient of tan theta? Delta theta can't be equal to 0. Therefore, the term in the brackets has to be equal to 0. What's this value? 22. Okay, it is 2263 tan theta. Okay, 240 minus 3200 sin theta plus 2263 tan theta. This has to be 0. Okay, but see here, this equation isn't possible to solve. It can be solved by numerical methods. Okay, that's later on in your course, 4th sem, 5th sem mathematics. But we can directly see that its value is equal to, its value will be equal to 16.6. Okay, its value should come out to be 16.6. I will also show you how to solve this equation on the calculator. Okay, on the calculator it is possible to solve. Okay. I want to show you one more statement of the virtual work, which is mentioned in the Merriam-Craig book. This statement. Principle of virtual work. Okay, it's mentioned in the Merriam-Craig. The virtual work done by external active forces on an ideal mechanical system in equilibrium is 0 for any and all virtual displacements consistent with the constraints. Work done by external active forces. ठीक है, यहाँ पे previous example में काफी forces थे, but external active forces कौन से थे? The external active forces are those which are responsible for the virtual work. So P1 was external active force, P2 was external active force, and the spring force was an external active forces. Okay, these reactions we are also forces, they were also the external forces, but they were not active forces because they don't contribute to the virtual work. So this statement is clear to us. Why only external forces? I had mentioned in the previous lectures that the internal forces, the work done by the internal forces are cancelled because they are equivalent opposite. They always act in pairs. Therefore, the work done by the internal forces will always be zero. On an ideal mechanical system in equilibrium is zero for any and all virtual displacements consistent with the constraints. Now, by constraint, we mean the restriction of the motion by the supports. Fine. So what does this say? What does this mean consistent with the constraints? Let's look at this figure. Let's take this as a roller support. So this is a roller, not any support. Okay. Here we have support. Okay. It's some ground. Okay. You can see that this is a ground and there is a roller. What is the position? What is the motion of the roller? What could be the motion of the roller? In the horizontal direction, but it has to be consistent with the constraint of the support. Now, what is the possible motions that we can give to the roller? See, this diagram will explain. Can I give the roller the motion in the vertically downward direction? Then this roller can break the supports, so this thing is not possible. Can we move this roller in the upward direction? It is possible, but we say that it's not consistent with the constraints of the support. Then then the significance of the support will get lost, isn't it? What's the support for? Support is for holding this roller to prevent the motion in the vertically downward direction. If we are moving this roller upwards, it is possible, but then the concept of the consistency with the supports will get lost. Okay. But see here, this figure here, it is possible to give the motion to the roller in this X direction, isn't it? Now this thing is consistent with the supports. Okay. So look at the definition again. Virtual displacement consistent with the constraints. This is also a virtual displacement, but this is not consistent with the constraint. Okay. This is only the displacement which is consistent with the constraints. Okay. It's still on the support and we have still given the virtual displacement. We are giving here the virtual displacement in the upward direction, but it's not no longer with the support. Therefore, the consistency with the supports is lost. Okay. So this is what we mean by the consistency with the supports. So all the virtual displacements have to be consistent with the supports. But if you remember one example I had given, even if it is not consistent with the supports, still there can be, we can use the virtual work law. Okay. I will write one statement. The statement is mentioned in the Beer-Johnston book. The virtual work law principle is even valid when we can say that when the virtual displacements are not consistent with the constraints imposed by the supports. Okay, what we have to actually assume here is that then it is possible when we assume the virtual work done by reactions as well. When we assume the virtual work done by the reactions as well. So if you remember the example, I think I had given in the first lecture of that ball. I want to show that again. This. So the virtual work, if we want to give the virtual displacement to the ball, either we have to move it in the upward direction, but the consistency will be lost. The consistency with the constraints will be lost. Consistency of the virtual displacement with the constraints will be lost. Also, this ball cannot go in the downward direction. This ball cannot go in the downward direction. But here, actually, what we had assumed that this normal reaction does work. Okay, we had assumed that this normal reaction also does work. That's why we got that. Although the displacement was not possible, still we give the displacement because we are going against the consistency of the constraints. Therefore, we had written that W delta Y minus N, what we call as delta Y, should be equal to 0, and we got that W is equal to N. So here actually what was doing the virtual work was the normal reaction. Until all the questions, we never have seen that the reactions are doing the work. Okay, but if the consistency with the constraints is lost of the virtual displacements, then there we have to assume that the reaction does work. Okay, there we have to assume that the reaction does work. Okay, therefore it will also hold when there isn't the consistency of the constraints, so of the virtual displacement with the constraints. Okay, still we can apply this principle as it will be clear from this example. See, in this example, we had done one example when one point was hinged and another was a roller. There was a possibility that we were giving the virtual displacement in the x direction, but both the points are hinged here. There isn't any possibility of giving the virtual displacement in horizontal direction. And there is a load acting here. But still, to find the reaction given by this, okay, if we are interested in finding the horizontal reaction at B, then what we have to assume that we are actually going against the consistency of the constraints. We are giving the virtual displacement, although this virtual displacement is not possible, but still we are giving the virtual displacement. But here what we have to assume that the work is done by the reaction. Virtual work is done by reaction. So it is the same question where we had an external force. We needed what is the external force to maintain the system in equilibrium. Therefore, if we want to calculate this reaction Bx, that will also definitely be equal to P by 2 tan theta. We had obtained this equation when we had a force Q which was trying to stop this motion and keep the system in equilibrium. Therefore, this reaction has to be equal to P by 2 sine P by 2 tan theta. Okay, so this means although this displacement is not consistent with the constraints imposed by the supports, still we have assumed the virtual work to be done, and now that virtual work is done by the reaction. Okay, is it clear? In all the previous questions, we always had the consistency of the virtual displacements with the supports. Okay, but in this problem it was not possible. Therefore, we had to assume that the virtual work done is by the reaction as well. And also see that we have always assumed the work done to be by the, we have all the systems that we have studied were the single degree of freedom systems. See, these are the examples. First three examples are the single degree of freedom examples, because one coordinate is sufficient to determine the position of every, okay, one coordinate is sufficient to determine the configuration of the whole system. Because our displacement was always in terms of delta theta. Whichever question we took, we could represent delta x, delta y in terms of delta theta. Therefore, only 1 degree of freedom was required. All the systems were of the single degree of freedom because delta theta was alone sufficient to explain the position of all these, explain the configuration of all this whole system. But see here, sometimes These are the 2 degree of freedom systems. We have to specify what is the displacement of this bar, and we also have to specify, that is 2 coordinates are required to specify the configuration of the whole system. Then we call them as the 2 degree of freedom systems. Unless and until we don't specify delta theta 1, delta theta 2, that therefore there will be 2 displacements, that is delta theta 1, delta theta 2. So our discussion will be restricted only to the single degree of freedom. Again, this delta is completely sufficient to explain the configuration of the whole system. We can find by this theta the displacement of this link as well as the motion of this slider. Okay, similarly, the single degree of freedom, this theta is sufficient to explain the motion of